How did your plants die? I forgot to water it. This is my Princess Lavender. Oh, look how beautiful it is. Isn't she gorgeous? It's beautiful plant and nearly died on me. I just watered it yesterday, but it's still, you can see that it's fairly dry. Okay, so I have a good chance of killing this plant from underwatering rather than overwatering. Now when it comes to succulents, it is the same story. Look at this beautiful Echeveria Gavoidis Rubin, which is now getting ready to get soaked. Hello there, my name is Liz, a self-confessed succulent addict. Welcome to my channel, Growing Succulents. I've had a Romeo that was fairly dry, and we had a bit of drizzle. The weather was really hot, temperature was high, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, we have rain. Only a short spat of rain. It wasn't enough rain to get anything wet, but it got the Romeo wet, and what happens is the top of the leaves got wet and the roots are dry. What does a plant do? It will absorb any moisture that's sitting on the leaves. They will absorb it because they're saying, I'm thirsty, I need a drink. But then I'll take the water wherever it comes because that's the only water available. So they'll drink it. And if their roots are dry, this is what happens. Yesterday, I had some visitors here yesterday, and we were admiring this beautiful plant here. And yesterday it was perfect. We didn't have any rain yesterday. Okay, I'll just put this here. The telltale sign today was this one sort of gone dark. This part as well, this one is exposed. So if you sort of look, nothing covering it. So we had, see, you can still see the clouds. It's still gonna pour probably because 81% chance of rain, and we reached 25 degrees today. At about 12:30 it was really hot, and all of a sudden on our way home at about 2 o'clock it started raining when we got home, and only, I don't know, an hour later I went outside to check on something anyway, and I find this. I don't know whether it happened last night. It can't be. So it's always the case, even with my Romeo that died before, it was the same thing. So this is my second Romeo that did that. That is really strange, and it can happen really fast. But then now I'm going to pull this out now and show you what I mean. That this thing here, those two are fine because they're still protected, but this one on the outside here is wet or got wet, and that's the one. So it's really windy and cold now all of a sudden. The sudden change of weather, they don't like sudden changes. Okay, now I'm going to pull this out and you will see how dry, look how dry the soil is. So a lot of the succulents can die. Well, in my experience, they would die. I had more deaths on dry succulent than, look how dry that is. That's really dry. See, look at that. And the roots is still nice and healthy, but it's not drinking, or it can't drink because there's no water. I haven't been watering it. So anyway, because I was dependent on rain, because we had rain a couple of days ago, so we had 2 days of sort of sunshine, and it sort of had a little bit of drizzle at night, but it wasn't that much. And this is the case. A lot of the succulents will die from underwatering rather than overwatering. So now, this one's now, you can see as well, this is my Echeveria Mystery Madame. And you can see the baby there. There's a lot of dry leaves. I'm sure that would be fairly dry. See the soil? They're all, I stick my finger there to about 2 inches and it's all dry. So that shows you as well, that really needs some soaking. Anyway, I'm going to take a lot of these plants now and water them. Okay, so dry soil, we're going to soak it. I got my watering systems in here. And I'm gonna get my soil wetter. I'm gonna shake it first. Sea soil. Super soil wetter and conditioner. Okay, so this is what happens. Okay, I was gonna do a demo, but then treated soil with sea salt soil wetter, the water penetrates much better. See those arrows going down? They go straight down to the soil. Now, if you just use plain water, the soil will repel the water, becoming water repellent soil. So which means it's not going to absorb it. And if it doesn't absorb it, it's not going to go into the roots. And if it doesn't go into the roots, your plant's going to die. The leaves will start falling off, and eventually you'd say, what happened to my succulent, to my little baby? Then they fall off. So this goes through with a lot of leafy succulents, which is your Echeveria, Graptoveria, Pachyphytum, Graptopetalum. So, but the water has to go through the soil. So without super soil wetter, you can use other seaweed or even agar. It's a vegetarian gelatin. You can use that. Go look it up online. Gardening Australia had a feature on agar. For other countries that you can't find soil wetter, because they do come in different forms. It doesn't have to be sea salt. Soil wetter can also be lawn wetter, so your garden grass wetter. I don't know what you call it in other countries, but here in Australia we have a few different brands. So, and sea salt just happens to be one of them. I'm gonna put about, when I say 50 ml, that's it, that's about 50 ml. And that's still not enough. We're gonna add some more. I like sort of a coffee color rather than tea. There you go. Okay, so that's about the consistency of the, okay, now I'm gonna put this one and we're gonna water it. And see how the bubbles, can you see the bubbles? So when you water succulents, I always say water deeply but less. So the last time I watered this one was last year. I think the first and last time I watered this when I potted it up, okay, to be honest with you, which is already, I think last year. It's almost a year now since I potted this up. Okay, so now I'm gonna put some more plants in here, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna top this up because the water's not gonna last. So, and the more water I put in it, the less strength it have. The soil wetter just helps to it doesn't really have, well, it's got some certain minerals and nutrients in it as well, so it's like fertilizing it as well, but sort of a mild fertilizer. There you go. Because the soil becomes waterproof after a while, so no amount of water, if it's just plain water, you can see the soil will just float up to the top and it won't absorb moisture, or it won't absorb the liquid. And I'm gonna put my other plants here as well. So this one is my poor shamrock that I have tortured. It's not tortured, I forgot to water it. See how dry that is? Same thing. So the more bubbles it shows up at the top, that means that is really, really dry. So these plants in these pots, I haven't watered for a long time. And also, okay, this is Lady's Choice and also my other Romeos. These ones I potted up. These ones a couple of months ago, and I can see some dryness. If I touch it, they're still a bit soft. So again, they're gonna get a soaking. Okay. See, every single one of them is just bone dry. And look at that poor thing there, struggling. Oh, look, the minute it stops bubbling, it means it has already, the soil has absorbed a lot of moisture, but that doesn't mean the plant has. So normally I tend to leave them overnight, or at least a couple of hours. See, look at that, poor Romeo. Under the roots is still all, well, this is Romeo Ruben. Under the roots is all still dry. And now, Lady's Choice turn, and also, there you go, Mystery Madame. Also, you get, if your plants are dry, I find you get a lot more mealybug if they're dry rather than well watered. So water less often but deeply. So this is what I mean. So now if I soak them like this and they're really saturated, because my soil is quite free draining, so all of this has got master succulent soil mix. And since I'm using a terracotta pot, so they can breathe and get rid of the excess water if they do have excess water. There you go. So this is how I water my succulents. And also that one pushing. There you go, see, it's still bubbling up, and that's why you need to soak it. And also top it up, because the water is quite low. The higher the level of the water to the pot, the quicker they will absorb water. And they need water because without water they can't grow. Some people don't like wetting the top of the plant for aesthetic reason. I wouldn't either if I'm just using them as a show pony. But these plants, are mainly growing them for propagating. And if you grow them for propagating, some time or another, they are gonna get wet anyway. So unless you want to keep them inside, or but these plants are really strong. I don't care, except the white ones with the farina. I think that's the only concern a lot of people have, but for me, I don't really worry about that. But anyway, and if you are worried about that, then only water carefully, like so, without getting the top of the leaves wet, because see, you can avoid getting them wet as well. But for me, having them wet, that also prevents them from getting attacked by mealybug. So there you go. It might be an all over the place vlog, but it's important for you to see what I'm doing here. That way you can learn. So it might look pretty on some other videos or something like that, with very in place. Anyway, hang on, wait a minute. I'm losing my track again because I hear the neighbors. Okay, my champagne, this champagne, I'm waiting for them to flower, or dry, the flower to dry up so I can harvest them. But anyway, they really need a good soaking as well. But for now, yep, they're really soft. So I really need to water this as well. Okay, I'll just put you here. See how dry my Romeos are? That one is really wrinkly. Look, so this is the last ones I potted up, 3 of them, or 4, can't remember now. But anyway, this one really needs soaking. Okay, so we go soak it up, and I will show you what they look like when I'm draining them. So after they've been soaking for a while, okay, we just gonna take this out. It's nice and heavy now, and we put it here to drain. This is my draining little pot here. Now this one we check. Oops, that one is still not as heavy as I'd like it to be. Ooh, that one's heavy. Not quite. So, Lady's Choice needs some more water. And we just check our Romeo. Yep, still bubbles on the side there. That's about, ooh, nice and heavy. Okay, put that on there. Next one. That one is still very, very light. So that needs a few more soaking. So as this one is getting heavy as well now, so just top it up and see. Yep, there's still bubbles. If I still see bubbles, then you still need to be soaked. That one is still light. You get to tell after a while whether which one's heavy and which one's light. And you can see also, ooh, look, pumice. Okay, the soil that I used, that one is pumice. This is pumice as well. And one of them is a granite or something. Pumice. Oh, they're all pumice. Okay, good. Pumice, Master Succulent Soil Mix. Instead of granite, I use pumice. And we'll see how they go. It's now 20 hours later. I almost forgot about you, babies. So this is in the middle of the day now. Hang on. So I'm just soaking this one as well. Now that one is all. Hang on. We'll see if it needs more watering. Yep, she's well watered, and so as this lady's choice. There you go. So now I'm just going to drain it. And it even rained last night. And they're all nice and happy. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Okay, and so the other one. Wow. There you go. And these are the beauties here. That one still needs a bit of soaking, but it's in the middle of the day, so I need to take them out. That one's still a bit more soaking as well. So this one's good. Hang on. I'll move that one there. This one, I'm gonna leave that one there. This Mystery Madame is gonna be drained. And I'll move these ones in the shade. And they're now back in their original place. Oh, that's nice and firm. So as these ones. Beautiful. So it's going to be another, well, it's summer in here now. So the next time I'm going to water this one or give this a soaking, it will be in autumn, so which is around 3-4 months from now, to prepare it for winter. Can you hear the thunder rolling? Anyway, this one, my Setorum Victor variegated, look how pretty that is. It's fairly light and it needs to be soaked, so